Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. The other day I made a video talking about, medical emergencies and what I know people are concerned about this. If the power goes out, if something happens to the grid, if there's some sort of substation attack or whatever happens, and you have medical issues that need refrigeration or need electricity, what are you going to do to make sure that those things stay okay? There's a lot of concerns, and I want to hopefully address some of these today and give you a solution. Because I've made some deals with a few companies that I'm going to be talking about their products because I think that they're going to be helpful to you. And I want to find products that are, because listen, here's the deal. I get in my inbox. I get stuff all the time for people who want me to push their products. And most of the time I just ignore them. I mean, I get everything. I get everything from makeup distributors, from those little pins that, what's those little things that you smoke to get, like e-cigarettes, whatever. I get all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, dude, most of it all just goes into the recycle bin. I don't care about that stuff. Every once in a while, I get a company that emails me and I look over their product and I look at how it's made and I'm like, okay, we can talk about this because this is something I see that can be useful for my audience. So, but the issue is all these blackouts. And it's come up a lot in the comments just recently about, Zach, what do I do? I mean, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I have insulin I need to keep cool. Or, Zach, I'm on an oxygen machine. I need to keep this thing running. What are you going to do? So let me take you to an article because this is not something that, again, this is just not me making stuff up. I want to show you this article. This was linked on Drudge just the other day, and I pulled it off because I knew I was going to be making this video. Here's the article. This was linked over at Drudge. It was from the end of the AmericanDream.com, and it says, who is purposely sabotaging power plants all over America? And it goes down to read, someone has been attacking power plants all over the country, and federal authorities are trying to determine who it is. In recent days, we have seen significant, let me zoom this in so you guys can see better. You can read along with me. In recent days, we have seen significant sabotage on both the East and West Coast, and so it can't be just one individual that is responsible. During the first 8 months of this year, there were a total of 106 attacks on the electrical grid in the United States. I wonder if that includes cyber, because I bet it doesn't. And that represents the highest number ever recorded in a single year. Hopefully, authorities will be able to get to the bottom of this mystery because winter will soon officially begin. Winter begins on the 21st of this month, if you didn't know. If power goes out in your neck of the woods for an extended period of time during the months ahead, what will you do? Nobody is trying to claim that the string of attacks we have been witnessing is accidental, and ABC News is reporting that federal authorities are investigating this very disturbing trend. It says federal authorities are investigating a number of recent reported acts of sabotage on utility companies, a senior law enforcement told ABC News. The move comes in the wake of substations being riddled with bullets in North Carolina, leaving tens of thousands without power for days. After the incident, the utility companies reached out to federal authorities in recent days to investigate, the source said. At approximately 7 p.m. on Saturday night, gunfire erupted at 2 electrical substations in Moore County. Officials are calling this an intentional and coordinated attack. Duke Energy restored power to all of its North Carolina customers Wednesday evening, 4 days after 45,000 customers were 45,000. See, I thought it was in the 40s. Were left in the dark after what officials have said was an intentional and coordinated attack on 2 substations in Moore County. So who is to blame? Well, these days authorities seem to have a rule for this sort of thing. When in doubt, blame the right-wing people. Apparently, a drag show was going on at the same time that the attacked substations happened, and so investigators are now focusing on that angle. Blah, 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 blah. We don't need to hear any more about this nonsense. So the reality is it's happening. Okay, there was a number of articles like this on Drudge and on major news places this last week that were talking about all the attacks that were up in Portland and other places around the country where it's basically, in fact, there was just another one that happened, I think, 150 miles south, this time in South Carolina, of a substation. It didn't take any power down, but it did receive an attack. It was shot at or something like that. So what do? Your grid is not guaranteed. This grid as a whole is a soft target. So what do? I've made a deal with a company called All Powers, and they are giving me a solar panel setup that we have installed here on the Homestead to test out and try, and I recommend it. Okay, it seems very well built. It seems good. It's good construction. It came packaged very well. The company is very easy to talk to and then to communicate with. But the reality is, you're not going to need really support for this thing because it's plug and play. And see, I made mention of this in the video just the other day because so many of these devices now are plug and play, simple plug and play devices. Whereas years ago, it wasn't like that. You had to do everything yourself. So this solar panel, it's basically a 400 watt panel. We plugged it in. It was on a sunny day. But actually, we had a lot of chemtrails going through that day, and it still reached over like 480 watts on a day where there was chemtrails and a lot of chemtrails dispersed throughout the sky. So it did really well in our test. And here's the deal: it's winter time right now, and we don't have a lot of power coming in through the sun right now in our solar system. So we're having to offset that by gasoline and generators on days to make sure our batteries stay up. But because this video is powered by battery power from our solar system. Anyway, needless to say, it performed very, very well. I think you're going to get a lot of use out of this. I did. So this is a review of this. So just to give you a heads up, this product, these panels, they come with kickstands on the back of them. So you can stand them up in your yard or use them. You can fold this thing up, put it in a carry case, and then take it with you wherever you go in a vehicle. But to use them on a more emergency, let's just say it's 6 months down the road and the power's out. And so you take this thing, you unfold it, you put it in your backyard towards the sun, and you get power from it. They have kickstands on this. The kickstands do fine when there's no wind. However, I can see an absolute problem with this if there was a gust of wind. The main benefit of this panel system that you have here is that it's portable. It's easy to move, which is good because most of these panels that you find, they're basically meant to be installed and then not moved. This can be folded and then moved wherever you want it. However, I would highly suggest, like we have done, you can see in this video, that we have constructed a place to put this panel up and then to be able to use it and secure it, because we get lots of wind where we are. If you just put this on the kickstands and put it in the yard, it will blow. Where we are, on top of a 2,200 foot mountain. I mean, it's not really a mountain if you're in Colorado, but here it's in the mountains, and we get lots of wind, and so it's gonna blow it over. So if you have things that you need, like an oxygen machine, or if you have issues like with insulin or other medications or medical issues where you need to have power, this will do well for you. This is a system that you can pull out and charge it into one of these battery power stations. We're going to review some of those coming up soon, and then you'll have power to run your stuff. You'll have the energy that's coming in to be able to power these battery packs or power these power stations that will, again, another video, and then use that to help whatever issue you have. If you have medical issues, just simple electronics like some sort of machine that has an oxygen machine, or some sort of ventilator, or some sort of IV drip, or something that requires electricity, this will do absolutely fine when it comes to power provision. The only thing you have to understand is that things that have a heat source, things that have a heating element in them, you're going to need a lot more. Okay, most medical things I think are probably just refrigeration or simple electronics. But if you have something with a heating element, you're going to need something more substantial. But as far as emergency medical, this is it. I recommend this All Powers solar panel company. Again, it seems very well constructed. I looked it over. It seems well put together. It's gonna provide the power you're gonna need. It performed very well in my test on a sunny day full of chemtrails. It produced almost the power it needed. The 400 watts was almost achieved on that day with the chemtrails were all in the air. So I highly, highly recommend this as a solution. It's expensive, but well-made things are expensive. I used to recommend the Harbor Freight garbage. And it was a great way to have a learning curve to learn about how solar was put together. But this day and age where there are companies that are making higher quality materials, even stuff, if it's made in China, they're making higher quality materials. They're better made, and they're plug and play, which takes the learning curve out of it, because the reality is most of us don't have the time to deal with the learning curve. We just don't. Okay. And if that's you, this is what I recommend. This is the panel I'd recommend for that issue. There was a number of you guys who left comments in the last video stating your medical emergencies and talking about those. And I wanted to get this out so that you can go ahead and get this system. So that's the recommendation. All powers. And we're definitely coming into some uncertain times when it comes to the susceptibility of our national electrical grid. And so being that as it may, it's good for you to take precautions and steps necessary to make sure you have what you need when you need it. Okay. And you're going to learn along the way. You're going to learn. It's all, education is always good. All right, guys. If you liked the video, please hit that thumbs up. It helps us a lot with YouTube. Leave a comment below. Let me know if this would help you. Let me know your medical condition. Let me know if I didn't address something that maybe I should have. I'll address in the next video, because I have some other power and solar videos coming up soon, so I can address those if I see that they're needed. And then also make sure you're checking out our merchandise over at teespring.com. Our Stupid Should Hurt, our bestseller, makes a great gift. Stupid should hurt. If there was a lot more hurt in this world, there'd be a lot less stupid. Absolutely true. There'd be a lot less people shooting at power stations. Anyway, yeah, check out our merchandise, teespring.com, link in the description below. Also, our guys over at Genesis Gold Group, the ad at the end of the video. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye! This is Grandma. Grandma survived the Great Depression. She survived the Great Depression because her supply chain was local and she knew how to do stuff. Grandma was smart. Grandma told us to make do with what you got. She also said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Homesteading is all about self-reliance and declaring ourselves to be independent from the system. We grow our own food, we raise our own animals, and doing these things helps safeguard our families from the unpredictable world that surrounds us. But what about banking? I love being my own power company, but what about being my own bank? Right now, our country is over $30 trillion in debt and rising. The Fed keeps printing money, and the Congress won't stop spending money. Staying attached to the modern banking system and their investment vehicles is like putting all of your eggs in one very, very fragile basket. On one side, you have the threat of inflation and your savings value floating away. And the other side is a possible deflationary stock market collapse, just like what happened in the 1930s. Genesis Gold Group is like a basket holding eggs, and these eggs are impossible to break. History shows us that all paper investments have and will return to their intrinsic value eventually. Zero. But gold, silver, and other precious metals have never, ever been worthless. In every collapse throughout history, people have turned back to precious metals to find monetary value. If you have a 401k, an IRA, or a savings account where you're literally watching the purchasing power inflate away, give Genesis Gold Group a call right now, today, this instant. They can develop a strategy for you in the days ahead. I can tell you how I raise sheep, I can tell you how I raise chickens, or the best way to grow tomatoes, or how to hook up a solar panel. But Genesis Gold Group is your best shot at safeguarding your hard-earned savings and investments during this increasingly turbulent time in history. The link and phone number is in the description below, or visit their website at genesisgoldgroup.com. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the Homestead that we make here on the Homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.